Hi guys! Well, it's definitely summertime. Oh my gosh, it's been so hot outside. There were a few days where it was well over 100 degrees here in Southern California, and all I wanted to do was eat cold foods. Salad, pie, and well, more pie. So today I'm making Kool Aid pie. It is so fun to make and super easy, almost goof proof really. And it's really great to let the kids make this. It's super simple. So today that's what I'm making. Nice cold Kool Aid pie, and I'm decorating it for the 4th of July. So what you'll need to make these pies are either pre-made pie crust or you can make your own. I chose to make my own, so I'm using graham cracker crumbs mixed with butter to create my crust. Then you need some sweetened condensed milk, Kool Aid packets. I'm using both cherry and mixed berry Kool Aid because I need red and blue pie filling. Then you need a small tub of Cool Whip, and I'm making mine the adult version, so I'm adding a block of cream cheese also, which is not necessary, but I love the thicker texture and the flavor of the cream cheese. I'm also using some strawberries and frozen blueberries just as toppings, as well as I've got some red, white, and blue sprinkles, some pinwheels, and other 4th of July items, and a can of Ready Whip just to use as decoration as well. First up, I'm making my pie crust. So I'm measuring my pie crumbs, and I'm making mine exactly as it says on the back of my box, which means I need 1¼ cups of crumbs, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and a 1/3 cup of butter. And then using a fork, I'm going to mix it all up until it's all well blended together. You can use a bowl for this, but I like using my pie tin just because it's my preference. But once it's all mixed together, it's ready. Now I want to make 3 mini pies, so I'm dividing up my crust into all 3 pans. And this recipe is exactly enough to make 3 mini pies. And I like a little bit of a thick crust, so I'm using a few scoops full for each pie. And I'm using springform pans, which means that they lift away from the pie when you're ready to display it. So I want the edges of my pie to be seen with all that pretty filling, which means no crust up the edges of the pie tin. So I'm just packing it nicely on the bottom of each pan. Once you've got your crust in each of your tins, you're going to place all of your pie tins into the fridge for at least 30 minutes before adding in any of your pie filling. I made mine the night before, so they were good and ready for the next day. Now to make the actual pie filling, you're going to dump in all of your ingredients, the entire can of condensed milk and the entire tub of Cool Whip. And you just want to mix it together. Now I'm adding my entire block of cream cheese, and I'm using a hand mixer to blend it up and get it nice and creamy. Now typical Kool Aid pie is just Cool Whip and condensed milk with the packet of Kool Aid. But like I said earlier, I'm making mine a little bit more adult-like, and I'm adding in the cream cheese. I just love the flavor and the thickness that it adds to the pie. Once my pie filling is all mixed together, I'm going to separate it into thirds. A bowl for my red, my blue, and then of course I already have my white filling. Now I'm adding my cherry Kool Aid to one of my bowls, and I'm only using about half of the packet. You want to stir in just a little sprinkle and check the color, check the taste, and then add more to it if you need to. Just remember, you can always add more, but if you dump it all in at once and it's too strong or too sweet, there's no going back. There's no way to take it out, unless you take filling away from one of the other bowls and try and make it a little bit less flavorful, which you don't really want to do that because we need all 3 colors. So don't dump it all in at once, just put in a little bit of a sprinkle, check the color and the taste, and then add more. And now I'm just repeating that process of adding a little bit of a sprinkle of my blue Kool Aid mix, which is the berry flavor, checking it, and then adding more if I need to. Again, I only used about half of the packet. Okay, the pie filling is now ready, so I'm going to get my pie pans from the fridge, which are now nice and cold, and the crust is packed in really firmly. Now I decided I wanted to layer my pies each differently. So the first pie is going to be red on the bottom, then white, and then blue on the top. So I'm placing a scoop of red filling in my pie tin, and I'm spreading it around with the back of the spoon. Then I'm adding a scoop or 2 of the white, spreading it around, and then finally the blue. Now you want to do your best not to get filling on the sides of the pie pan, because when you lift away the springform pan, you want to see the beautiful layers. You want to see all the different colors. And if there are smudges of color on the sides of the tin, it could potentially ruin the pretty sides of your pie. So just clean up any smears before you add the next layer of your filling. Once I have my final layer on the top, I'm smoothing it out with an offset spatula. Then I'm moving on to my next pie tin. My next pie is going to be blue on the bottom, then white, and finally red on top. Again, I'm cleaning up the insides of my pie tin before adding each layer. And once I'm on the top layer, I use an offset spatula to level it and make it look nice and clean. My final pie is going to be blue on the bottom, red in the middle, and white on the top. All 3 of my pies are done, and now they need to go into the fridge for at least 4 hours. Once your pies have chilled in the fridge for at least 4 hours, you can take them out to display them. For my pans, I unbuckle the side and the bottoms lift out. Some springform pans, you unbuckle the side and the sides lift off of the bottom. So it just depends on what kind of pan you have. For mine, I unbuckle the side and the bottom lifts out. So I'm using one hand to lift them out and balance them and then place them onto my serving tray. All right, so next up is the fun part, the decorating. So I'm using canned whipped cream for one of them with a few little sprinkles just on top. But just remember, if you use canned cream to decorate your pie, you must serve it right away, or you need to place it into the freezer to harden for about 30 minutes, then serve it. Otherwise, the cream just melts right off your pie. I'm also using some sliced strawberries and a few blueberries on one of my pies. And the final one has just a fun 4th of July piece on it. I got these at Party City along with some pinwheels, but you can use any decoration that you like. Sky's the limit. But that's it. These pies are so simple to make. The hardest part really is just the waiting time while they set in the fridge. But they're so delicious, and you can make so many different kinds because there are tons of Kool Aid flavors out there. So have fun with all the options available to you. And I hope y'all enjoyed this super easy pie idea, and happy 4th of July. Bye guys! Now, if you didn't know this, Kool Aid packets are the color the flavor will make. So I use cherry, which is the packet on the left, and it's in a red packet. So my color of pie filling, or if you were making a Kool Aid to drink, would be red, just like the color of the packet. I also used a mixed berry, which is on the right, and that packet is blue. So I know that my pie filling will be blue. Some people think, oh, mixed berry, this will be like a raspberry or a purpley kind of color. But no, it will not. It will be the color of the Kool Aid packet that it comes in, or pretty close to it if you're mixing it with like whipped cream and cream cheese and stuff like that. So if you want a purple, you need to look for a Kool Aid packet that is purple. If you're looking for a green, you need to look for a Kool Aid packet that is a green color. Otherwise, you're not going to get the color that you want.